Hello, friends.
Welcome.
We're delighted that you could join us again this week. We always enjoy connecting with you every week.
And we hope you've gotten your cup of tea ready
Yes.
or a hot beverage to sit and visit with us just a little bit this week. And so this last week, my stitch group met, which is always a fun time when we ladies get together.
Yeah.
And we're celebrating hearts and love the whole month of February.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things we share are little hearts again. And this is a little heart made of an old doily. And a lot of the cloth was already ripped apart and deteriorating. And so take out the good parts and give it a little stability on the backing and seed pearls around here. And it's just kind of a fun little thing to do. You can put a hanger on it to hang it if you want to on a knob.
That's a super sweet stitching project.
It is. So we shared different things that we've been working on. And it's always fun as a group to get together. And if you don't have a group and you have like interest, whether it's stitching or book club or whatever, and there's no one around and you'd like to really get together with people and just pull some people together.
Sure.
Ask them if they would be interested. And that's how it really began with our group. And it does with any group.
Yeah. Bella, my daughter in North Carolina, she's actually starting a tea club.
Yes.
Which I just love that.
Absolutely.
Chip off the old block.
Well, and do what your heart desires.
Yes.
But it is very important to have groups to get together with and to visit with.
It's hard to find. Sometimes it's hard to find your people, people that you really connect with. And I think having an interest that is likely to, attract people with similar interests. And it's really, that's how we both, I mean, you started it. I learned it from you. That we've always started groups of what we're interested in because that's how we've built our community. Really,
it is.
Yeah.
We all need a community around us
For sure.
And if I had time and I was younger and more energy, I could have 6 groups going of different kinds of interests that I have.
For sure,
because that would be a fun thing always to do.
It's a good thing to do.
This is our warmest February on record, they say.
And that's a little scary.
It is scary, and we really kind of need some, 3-4 weeks yet of cold weather.
We do. And the seeds that we throw out, the seeds we throw out, a lot of them need to be stratified, which means they need some cold after you throw them out. And we like throwing seeds out around Valentine's Day every year. And really, we try and look at when the full moon is, because the closer you are to the full moon, as you're approaching the full moon, the more water seeds are able to absorb and the more successful germination you are likely to have. And so we generally put our seeds that are perennials and native plant seeds out to germinate the week before the full moon. So that's right now, because full moon's coming up
in a couple of days. So we have to get them.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I've thrown some more spur seeds out already, and it's just a good thing to do if you possibly can do it. And I often wonder, is this the new normal now? Is this the way our weather's going to be?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, we may have to move that date back a little bit.
For sure.
But we'll kind of work with it as we go through.
Good point.
And so we have ordered seeds. You have ordered seeds. And
I started seeds this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And where do they come from?
We love to support seed companies that are independently owned, that are not part of big conglomerates. One of the really things that I think are really concerning are the big seed monopolies, the people who want to control the companies that really want to control our food sources. And so I think it's really important to remember that our dollar is our vote.
Yes.
And we want to support small seed companies. Now, I know if you live here in the Lawrence area, I know we have a couple of local seed providers who grow their own seed and sell their own seed commercially. I don't remember the names of either of them, but I do know that Cotton's Hardware on 19th and Mass Street is great about supporting them and carrying some locally grown seeds. We love also ordering from Strictly Medicinal Seeds, which is a wonderful place to get medicinal herbal seeds. And then, of course, Seed Savers and botanical interests, which you'll often find in many of the grocery stores like Natural Grocers.
Yes. And gather your seeds together and see what you need and order something new maybe that you want to grow this year.
Oh, it's always fun to grow something new, right? Are you thinking about growing something that you haven't grown before? Let us know what it is and why you want to grow it, because everybody, I think, is always interested in thinking about some new things to grow.
And I think we have to also think about, if we can't get into the gardens because of health issues or because you don't have a place to garden, you might just want to put it in a big pot on the front porch or the back patio, and you can grow vegetables in a pot. You can grow herbs in the pot.
You bet.
So think about doing that. If it's always good to have something green growing and something you can tend to and nurture.
That's important.
It is.
It's
a
good
good thing.
Yeah, it's so good for the soul.
It is. So have you checked to see if the nettles are up yet?
I have not looked to see if the nettles are up yet, and I bet they probably
are about an inch high
pretty
right
close.
now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I haven't been out there to see them, but it's about that time to start looking for some of those early spring herbs.
And they're actually called stinging nettles.
Yeah. And
many of the country, your farm places will have them maybe growing out in a pasture or along a creek area.
We love nettles. Nettles is one of our absolutely favorite herbs. When you come into the shop, it's likely the biggest jar of herbs that we have in the shop is the big jar of nettles, because we sell a lot of nettles. We talk about nettles a lot, and it's one of our very favorite herbs because it's more than an herb. It's really a very nutritious superfood, and that's how we think of it. We think of herbs really as kind of part of the grocery budget because they are an important way to help boost the nourishment of what we are eating in our foods. The soils are so depleted, it's really hard. Even if you're eating a perfect diet, it's very difficult to get the nutrients that we need. And nettles is one of those plants that can really help to boost our nourishment. It's unusually high in vitamins and minerals. It's considered to be a blood builder among herbalists, and it's been used to treat anemia and just poor circulation and poor health. It's very deeply nourishing. It helps enhance energy and vitality. It's also a urinary tract tonic, so it helps to normalize the elimination of water from the body. Many people don't realize that nettles is actually also an antihistamine plant. And there's been some interesting studies done. In one study, 48% of patients said that nettles was more effective than allergy medications they had previously used. So that's pretty impressive. And we know people personally who've had really good luck using nettles as an antihistamine to help quell those seasonal allergies. And here in the shop, we carry 3 different kinds of nettles. They're all organic and sustainably grown. One of them is a less expensive, very deep green, beautiful nettles that has a little bit of stem pieces in it. And so you don't really want to use those in like throwing them in foods because stem pieces of nettles are very hard and they don't really soften. So we use those, and our students use those, and the people who come in use those primarily as an infusion to create a drink out of those where you strain the nettles off. A new kind of nettles that we are carrying now is the same kind of nettles, but they are just the leaves that are more carefully gathered without any stem materials so that they're easy. We call them the culinary nettles. All nettles are, culinary, but these are, you can actually just by the handful toss into things that you're fixing, which I've really loved using because I toss them into soups, into lasagna, into meatloaf, into, whatever it is that we are making, sauces, anything that you can hide them in, banana muffins, a little bit of cinnamon and banana can hide a lot of things. And so those nettles find their way into a lot of things. Another style of nettles that we sell is powdered nettles. So it's a really fine powder, which is a great replacement if you love matcha tea. You can sometimes do powdered nettle as your matcha, which is pretty fun and a really nice way to be deeply nourishing. And they just kind of create a matcha colored flavored tea if you want to use them in that way. And you can also use them in a sprinkle. One of the things that we sell that we make here is called our Everything in Nettles superfood sprinkle, and we use the powdered nettles in those along with some seeds and such to make a really yummy sprinkle for your food. So that's a good way to boost your nutrition and possibly treat some issues.
And actually nettles are so much more nourishing than kale.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing people don't realize that they think, well, I'm really healthy because I'm going to the store and I'm getting my spinach or I'm getting my kale, and nettles is so much more nourishing, like 1,000 times more nourishing. And it's pretty impressive. And so we do carry those in here. Yes, we do. And if you have questions when you come in, we're always here to try to answer your questions for you and get you on your way with it. But nettles are really part of us living a healthy life. For sure. And putting them in what we use. So we'll be open the first 3 weekends of March. and that's always on Fridays and Saturdays. We're never open on Sundays.
No, we are not. We're catching up and working.
Right.
Just to say. Since we talked about the full moon, I'd like to read just it's very, very short. It's in the March chapter of my book. And it says about the February full moon. Every now and then, Valentine's Day can be celebrated with the full moon, making it an extra special day. I call the full moon in February the Valentine's moon. But from history, we know it was known by other names. Traditionally, the February full moon is called the full hunger moon. The tribes and the early settlers referred to this moon as the full hunger moon since harsh winter weather conditions in their areas made hunting difficult. It was also called the full snow moon because the snowfall was usually the heaviest in the month of February, and it was the time of the year that blizzards were expected. Living on the prairie, they also called the full moon the ground squirrel's run moon. Folklore says to watch the moon for the first 2 weeks of the month, and it will predict the growing season of the spring and the summer. If there is a full moon between February 1st and the 19th, the crops should be good. Well, our moon this year is on the 24th, but we're going to hope and that we have really good crops. The little verse that comes at the end of the chapter is one from a book that I just dearly love, and it's written by Penny Pollock, and it's called When the Moon is Full, a great children's book, and this might be one that you want to read to your children or grandchildren. And this is called The February Full Snow Moon. Snow falls all day into the night, snuggling the world in downy white. The full moon hides its face behind a curtain of winter's lace. And so with that, we are going to close, and we will plan to see you next week.
Good earth blessings to you.